Hey, welcome to What the Fuck Sutter number 4. Wow, number 4 for season 5. We are first script is done. We are in the process of breaking episode 4. A draft of 3 is being written, and I just gave Regina notes on episode 2, and I'll probably start my draft of that on Monday. So we're moving ahead. I have some, I'm not going to give away names, but I have a couple actor meetings next week for potential new roles that I'm excited about, and as some of those shore up a little bit more, and I will let folks know who they are, and who the characters are. What else? I did not shave my head. It was clearly just a ploy to get you to watch this. But you know, I'm always open to the potential extreme bet that may result in that. Here's our first question. It comes from Jennifer Campbell. Jennifer says, Love SOA, Otto's storyline is by far the most emotional and oftentimes upsetting for me. Interesting. He intrigues me the most of all the SOA characters. Question, do you believe in the death penalty? Thanks for answering if you do. Thanks for answering if I do believe in the death penalty, or... that's an interesting question. You know, do I really want to talk about the death penalty and be bitch slapped for being the progressive liberal that I appear to be? You know, I don't. I don't believe in the death penalty. I think that it's, you know, I just think, quite honestly, to extract the emotional component out of it, that if you do the hardcore research, that it's a really ineffective strategy, and that it ultimately doesn't deter extreme and violent crimes, and it ends up just costing states more money than not. So that's my politically somewhat correct response to that. You know, in terms of the humane aspect of it, you know, I believe that that human beings are too fallible to be put in the position of playing God. That's my humanistic take on it as well. So my answer therefore is no. However, you know, I've also never been put in the position, thank God, and hopefully never will, where I lose a loved one to a violent crime. And perhaps if I was, I may have a different opinion. So I qualify it with that. You know, Otto, and I've talked about this before, you know, Otto really was created as a vehicle for exposition, quite honestly, in that a lot of the storylines, a lot of the life within these outlaw organizations, you know, there's definitely a piece of that happens inside, in prison, and Otto was sort of the conduit to that. You know, but there was, you know, there's also the, we also were able to play some of the emotional component with Luann and Luann's death and his betrayal of the club, and the thing I liked last season about it was the idea that you had a guy in season 2 who knew he was in for life at that point probably, and who had no problem like bouncing the head of a federal officer off a table, or a federal agent off of a table, to basically say fuck you and protect the club. And that guy 2 years later, you know, after being somewhat betrayed and sort of having, you know, his emotional emotionally sort of wringing him out instead of just physically wringing him out, which we've seen over and over again, that it was that emotional gutting that that brought him to the place where he felt compelled to, or justified in saying, you know, fuck you, you know, I've done all this for you. Like, he reads that list of things to Bobby, all this shit that he's done inside to protect the club, and the one thing they asked him to do, they couldn't do. So he feels a big sense of betrayal. So in his mind, in the moment, felt like, you know, it was justified. And, you know, and I think, you know, I think some people got that. Some people felt like it was still fucked up and he was just a rat for doing that. And we'll expand upon that a little bit this season. There won't be a lot of, right now, there's not going to be a big Otto arc that happens. We may touch on that story to keep the Rico thing alive. But I think ultimately that it is something I'd like to explore. And you know, I feel like, you know, prison and the, you know, prison and death are such an inevitability for these guys in the life that it would be interesting to sort of play that out with Otto, and what does that look like, and what would that, you know, if he were sent to the gas chamber, you know, what would that, you know, what impact would that have on the club? You know, what would that look like? Because the truth is it happens. So that's another long, rambling answer to your very direct and thoughtful question. Let's do one more quick one. This is from oh, I know, Tash Donahoe. Tash is a big Twitter friend. Hi Kurt, I'm missing Sons of Anarchy dearly. Thank you for keeping us informed and entertained while we suffer through withdrawals. My question is regarding Season 5. Will we get to see more of the club's history play out? Also, can you give us a clue to the new cast member roles and how they are involved with Sam Crow? The history of the club, you know, to me the mythology kind of trickles out season after season, and you know, I never think of it in terms of, okay, this season I'm going to give out this much information. I just, you know, obviously in Season 3 with the Belfast storyline, there was an opportunity, I felt, organically to get out some of the backstory that supports the mythology. You know, last season obviously we got to play out the you know, some of the information that was in those letters, and got to reveal some more backstory. So you know, I would say that if there was an opportunity for some of that information to happen organically through the arcs this season, that, yeah, definitely we potentially may find out more information, at least about, maybe, if not about the club in its entirety, at least maybe about some of our main characters, get out a little bit more information about them. And the new cast members, you know, I did tweet that we would have 8 new cast members, which is true. I wouldn't say 8 of them are all major roles. You know, at least 3 or 4 of them are, and one of them, you know, 2 of them I've already talked about. One of them is Damon Pope, which we established last season, and that's some of the meetings that I'm starting to take is for that role. We have a new character that will be sort of a mentor figure for Jax, and I'm taking meetings for that role as well. And then the only other character I've talked about was a role that Chuck Zito will be playing, which is we're bringing in some nomads into the club, and Chuck will be playing the sort of leader of that crew that gets brought to Charming to help these guys out. And as I look, as we add roles and as we add actors, the network sort of handles, quite honestly, when that information goes out in terms of press releases and all that stuff. So I can't really step on any of that, but I will. I try to keep you informed as much as I can, and we'll follow up as that information comes out. So that's it for this week, and am I out of town next week or no? The following week.
Following week.
Yeah. So I'll be here next week, and then maybe we'll do a special What the Fuck Sutter from the FX upfronts the following week. Maybe we'll do that. That's it. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.